So non-arteritic anterior ischemic optic neuropathy, NAIONs, which we all learned about in school, which happens primarily in patients over 50 years old, where we have essentially an acute loss of vision, typically associated with altitudinal visual field defect, maybe some loss of color vision, decrease in best corrected vision that can also be permanent, is showing through the research to double in risk in the population that takes GLP-1 receptor agonists. So what does double mean, right? So double of 1 in a billion is still a pretty small number, right? But double in the NAION world, we're looking at 1 in 10,000 versus 2 in 10,000, okay? And so who does this happen to more frequently? And the answer is the patient with something that we all learned in school, hopefully, called the disc at risk. The disc at risk is when you look in the back of the eye and you see hopefully you see an optic nerve, right? You look at that optic nerve, you look at that cup to disc ratio. And so number one, is the disc small? And not only is it small, do you have a small cup to disc ratio? Okay, because the blood vessels have to travel through that canal in the optic nerve. And what happens is what we think is happening, and this is not just the optometrist, not just the ophthalmologist, not just the retina specialist. Everybody thinks what's happening is that when you have a disc at risk, you have a small nerve, a crowded nerve, maybe a drusenoid nerve where there's a lot of drusen that's kind of congesting that area. Those blood vessels, when you have a rapid decrease in your blood sugar after you take the drug, it changes those fluid dynamics in the blood vessel. You have some vasoconstriction, some vasodilation. And what happens is that the blood flow gets constricted in that disc at risk, and you essentially have a stroke within the nerve. And so, again, permanent loss of vision is possible. Altitudinal visual field defects, dyschromatopsia, where you can have color vision changes, but definitely an acute loss of vision, an acute quick loss of vision. Maybe you wake up with it that morning. Now, we also know that the further you get away from starting your drug, the lower the risk that happens. So we think it's right when you start using it when this can happen. So what's important? Getting back to what we were talking about with Darryl before, get those eyes examined. If you have a disc at risk, the patient should know about that before they start the drug, because maybe you want to have that conversation with that patient ahead of time. Well, you should have the conversation with the patient all the time. But if you have a disc at risk, a congested small nerve with a small cup to disc ratio or a lot of drusen, be like, hey, if you're ever considering GLP-1s, I just want to let you know this risk, even though it's rare, you're at higher risk for it happening to you based on the kind of anecdotal, non-proven research that we have on this. It's coming in by cases reported. And then when we break it down, is it happening more with the Zepbounds or the Mounjaros or the semaglutides? We don't know, because they're not the reports aren't coming in that way. We just know it's the class of GLP-1s. So this is serious, okay? And the other serious component to it is, generally speaking, these patients, if they have an NAION, they'll have it in not both eyes at the same time, but generally speaking, one eye at a time. Okay, so if you have a patient that is taking a GLP-1, has a disc at risk, throws an NAION in one eye, one of the things you seriously want to consider is getting that patient off the medication, because the last thing you want is permanent vision loss in the fellow eye. And so, because they're obviously, if one eye is the disc at risk, most likely the other eye is a disc at risk as well, because both of our eyes are generally similar in appearance. And so that could happen, and that would be obviously disastrous to a patient. So that's what we know about NAIONs right now in the association with GLP-1s. There is definitely what we see through reporting an association. It's about double the risk, from 1 in 10,000 to 2 in 10,000 in the population. Disc at risk are higher